following is a special MRE Uno presentation, Division 1, Super League 2024. Bad Brad versus the fastest in the West. A left coast matchup here in the great capital city of Athens, Greece. For Brad, he's back. He's back with vengeance. He said he has a lot to prove. He was the man to dance for in May. But now, he needs to show those moves on the nightclub of Athens, at the top of the Acropolis. Ghost is coming in hot. The last man in, the 12th seed, a clutch win against Brock. Brock was a statue, but Ghost conquered him. He went through the gauntlet, and his reward? A date with none other than Bad Brad. He's in the building. His methodical play style is different than everyone else in the group stage. He earned that bye, and now he proves why he's a bad man. Ghost will be ready. No power play. Best of 7. He just got done with no power play. He's warmed up. It's the old adage. Did you have enough rest? First being warmed up with that fiery engine ready to go. And for Brad and Ghost, a show is about to be put on in the amphitheater in downtown Athens. Because this is the round of 12. There's no more ties. It's Super League elimination stage. Welcome to Bad Brad vs. Ghost. A big match is in the store at the left coast, west coast showdown of Moors. We got Bad Brad versus the fastest in the West. For Brad, it's a little bit different scenario. A bunch of rest on Bye Island. He feels rejuvenated and refreshed. But a different type of opponent wanders into his home table. And it's not other than the fastest Ghost in the West who needed a clutch moment against William Brock in Week 4. Having that Week 5 big balls bye, as we like to call it. He got the big ball bye. He got the points in. He squeaked in as the last guy in the field, coming in as the 12th seed after a reseed versus Brad has got that methodical play style. It's going to be a good match, but who will control the pace the best will ultimately be the winner. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Brad versus Ghost, Washington versus California, the left coast here in Athens, Greece. Doesn't get much better than that. Let's go into the schedule, and man, oh man, I just got a fresh schedule from Short. Shout out Short for after a long day, and what a classic JT and Nam put on. That game had everything. You want split ammo, you want ammo control, you want number efficiency, you want color efficiency, you want whatever you can dream of in a match. It came down to some Game 7 heroics. Congratulations to JT. He'll be on the road against Captain in what will be a classic low-card luck showdown entering next week. Brad Ghost coming up next. And tomorrow, big match, probably one of the better match, if the best match around. Chime and Toasty, equal footing for both guys. New Zealand versus China. China, New Zealand, foreign affair. Looking forward to that tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And then the nightcap, 24 hours from now, about less than 24 hours from now, as we ran long tonight. Tapir Sanford. Tapir looking to take care of business against Sanford to go 2-0 on the season with him. Or can Sanford get revenge and make it a 1-1 split? Winner will take on me and Ashley respectively in the 1-8-9 battle. Well, we go into how these players got here. Well, for Ghost, it's simple. He made it to the group stage and he needed to take care of business. He got the business taken care of in that Week 5 battle against old Brock. Brock just missed out by 2 game points. Ironically, if Ghost would have won 4-2 and Brock would have won 4-2 and Brock would have lost 4-2, it would have been a role reversal and Brock would have got it. It just shows you how close Group B was, separated by basically 1 point from 2nd through 4th. Congratulations to Ghost this weekend. And for Brad, well, it's been simple for him. He's been on that island. He hasn't really done much other than just relax and chill. And you look at his season, obviously lost to myself 5-1 back in March, all the way back there. Then he took care of business Of course, he lost the Amateur tournament too. Then he took care of business in T3, win the whole thing. Huge wins. Of course, the most famous wins against Toast and Yoshi. Took care of Myth ALP. A crazy run, the old JT special, where he was down to his last strike 3-0, found a way to win 4-3. Didn't really do much in Jungle Joy other than a Peter went off the bye island, had the Pez loss, and then tried his best against Captain, despite some good lucks against that and good fortune in Old Space September. And now he's here. Hasn't played in a long time, but he's back on the table since September 16th, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Joining me in the booth for the first time since Brando Caesar, ironically, it's going to be G. G, welcome back to the booth, buddy. We're going to have some new interactive features we discovered with the old scoreboard custom messages, we'll call it. Looking forward to displaying that tonight. Like I said, Brad hasn't played since September 16th. Ghost hasn't played a little bit off the bye, but he just got off a Super League group stage. Where do you think the battle lines are going to be drawn then? Do you think Brad needs to use game one as a feeler, considering he's never played an MRE sanctioned match with no power play? Talk to me a little bit of a preview of some of the keys for what Brad and Ghost is going to be in store for the fans, and how can Ghost rattle Brad's cage?
I think the thing for Ghost going into this is he needs to be loose to start things off. Game one can be a feeler game, but if he can't get it going quickly, then the series could wrap up quickly because we know Ghost is known for this really quick, fast style, and I have no hesitation to say that Ghost will try to bring that out from the get go and try to get a quick advantage here. For Ghost, I mean, made it out of the groups. He's coming off a week 5 bye, so he is a bit refreshed, but also was technically the last person to make it in since he was third place in Group B and had the lowest amount of points between him and Sanford. So going to an interesting spot, hypothetically going against the toughest challenge in this round of 12. But Ghost has also been playing through the groups and is more fresh in this terms of on this format per se. So he's going to be looking to take advantage of that going into this one. But I think game one, that one will be important, but I really think the real teller in this one will be games 2 and 3 in terms of how the series will go.
All right, well, let's go into the players now. Appreciate those insights, G. Looking forward to having you as my scoreboard keeper tonight. Brad, like we said, as I said on the top of the message here, in the scoreboard interactive message, you haven't played since September 16th. It's been a long time. It's been basically 60 days, 2-month layoff. How do you try to compensate for a 2-month layoff? What did you do to keep fresh? Well, obviously, we know you study the games. You've been in VCs and trying to learn the culture of Athens. But what did you learn on the bye, right? What was the biggest thing you learned about? What's one thing you could take away in terms of the mindset to get you a table win tonight and keep the train alive, basically, for sure? Ghost, you basically had to take care of business against Brock to get in. Yeah, you stuck it in. I gotta be in game mode. I need to block everything out and focus. That's straight up Brad, for sure. Ghost, you had a squeak by. You went from a roller coaster of emotions. It was must win, right? You had to win to save your season, to have any chance. Then you saved your season. Then you had a chance to chill, and then you're back into high pressure mode. Talk to me about the roller coaster of emotions for you as you enter tonight, and how you're going to handle Brad's methodical style. This is probably the most methodical style you played in the league since that match against Cody Lamas where you lost in T5. Your whole group was different, but your thoughts on playing a more methodical style? Well, Brad types out, he said he's got to be in game mode today. Got to lock in. We'll see what Ghost answer here is. You look at the table right now, G. We already saw a thriller. It was a last lap thriller, legit, from JT in the first game. Nam played really well. We saw everything. Do you expect everything going to be thrown to the table at the kitchen sink tonight? You might see some unexpected plays, or do you think this one could come down to if Brett can control the pace to get the ultimate win?
I think there will be some interesting plays going throughout, but I really think this has the pace written, a match that has pace written all over it. So I personally would think that the pace is going to be important, but I just wanted to butt in on that. I'm just curious to see what Ghost will have to say on that, but that's my personal take on it.
Yeah, just waiting for him on that. Just for that, once we've filled some dead air time. Reminder to the fans at home: one more look at that schedule before we start the game. Big matchup tomorrow. Chame Toaster. We talk about Toaster guy. He likes to stick it in and I'll play some ammo and hope it sticks, and hopefully you crack. Chame, split ammo god. Yeah, we've not seen split ammo. We talked about game flow in the first match. Well, it seems that with game flow, it does matter in group stage, but game flow will not be much of a factor, I don't think, but you never know. In this format where we're seeing elimination matters, we have to declare a winner, obviously. And then tomorrow, the finale game will be Superior Sanford. We talked about Sanford, of course, experimenting, trying to find things and go from there. And Superior, he's been on a bye. I think will be a good litmus test to see how Brad does that to really get a good gauge on Superior come tomorrow at 9:30. That's going to be tomorrow's action. Tonight, we saw a classic game of Nam and JT. JT figured out a way to get him done after down 3-2. Nam, great season. He'll learn and adapt for 2025 after a potential top 10 finish on the year realistically with a 7 points with the game 7 going to 7. It would come down to GD, gameplay metric, not GD, gameplay metric. And we'll see where he finishes up in the end of the standings. I'm just waiting on Ghost here. Obviously, we apologize for the delay. We finished the game around 9 o'clock, so we needed about 35 minutes to turn around. And we went from there. So I'm just waiting on Ghost G. I mean, as we wait for Ghost, then you might be out. Your thoughts, Lauren G. Your thoughts on this format so far? There he is. He's typing now. Well, Ghost types. Your thoughts on this format so far? Just what the round 12 means for these guys. With no power play, it's a little bit of an adjustment period, especially for Brad and Superior come tomorrow.
I mean, honestly, the best way I could describe this, and this is kind of a weird coincidence, but the CFP in a way, first round,
Sure.
where in a way kind of can feel similar to like a regular season game, but with the caveat there's no power play, so it is a little different, but also like you kind of have that home field advantage in a way, and also it's just really straight up just play it based off the cards, nothing with power play and that, so it is a little different, but it's going to be an all-out fight here, and that's really the best way I could describe it in terms of the format. But we'll see how this plays out. We saw a really great match earlier tonight. With this, we'll see if we'll go 2 for 2 here.
Yeah, it will be a good match, and I cannot wait for that. Gee, as you said, the all-out fight is ready to ensue. As we see it, the scoreboard ticker. I'm just going to put that up. First match for Brad since September 16th. It's been 2 months, so we'll see how he adapts. And then for Ghost, he's coming off the week 5 bye in the group stage to set the stage. Going to be a good one. G's going to be our toggler, I guess you could say, of the interactive messages tonight. He'll be our scoreboard keeper. Looking forward to seeing what G will cook up with some stats and have some fun on that. Just waiting on Ghost typing some messages out. Reminder to Ghost, he'll answer the question. Just want to see his mindset going into it. Obviously, you look at Ghost, his season on the track. G, he had probably a statement win all season against Ashley, but it was more of a season of a quad 3-4. Just found that Ashley win. He found a more consistency. He did lose to Cody Lamas, which was a more methodical style, but at the end of the day, Ghost has seen everything and anything in the playbook. You got to think he's well seasoned. Brad, on the other hand, he never really got hot till that T3 game. We know he had a great, or T3 run. He had a great March, but after the March game, he didn't do anything with them, the loss there. And he just got hot. He just got extremely hot in May, and then he kind of cooled up. But at the same time, I remember the last thing he said was, I have something to prove here, Kay. And I wonder, when he did that reveal show, ironically, 30 days ago, which is crazy. He's almost been on a 30-day interval. You wonder how he's adapted to that in the sense that he's ready to prove something, knowing also that Ghost has something to prove in a West Coast showdown. Two states that are very close to each other as well, G. West Coast battle. That makes things a little bit more of a Pac-12 type of rivalry, even though it's gone, so it'd be more of a Big Ten rivalry now. Waiting on Ghost here, just saying type out, and we'll get the game started. Reminder to the fans at home, while Ghost types out, G will initiate the game as the ref. There'll be, of course, no power play, best of sevens. That's your 2-2, 1-1-1. And, of course, the next rounds will be a little bit different. We'll start talking about that with the best of nines. We'll have 3-3, 1-1-1, and then 4-4, 1-1-1. Super League is a little bit different. There's a little more emphasis on home games. But tonight, no power play. Of course, card history's on, 4 max command chain. All the fun stuff to get you set up for tonight's action. G will handle all the business right there as soon as Ghost gives us the answer. I want to thank also both players for scheduling this game. Obviously, we talked about this game was supposed to happen at 9. We're about an hour late, but that's what we like about this game. We schedule it nice. Brad will be at home, of course, the 5 seed. Let's wait on Ghost here, and Ghost will be the 12 seed. Not going to lie, this was a hell of a roller coaster securing my spot in the RO12. 2 ties really required to take a win to stay alive. Though I was out of the game after the loss in week 3, I totally thought I was out. But game 4 was the run of my new life, as not only did I win, but won by such a huge margin that basically shot me up from dead last to practically certain. It was a hell of a journey to get here, so I'm ready to take the next big step in the Super League. Well, with that, Jay, Ghost is ready, Brad is ready. Let's initiate the game. There it is. Brad will be at home. T.I. will be 2-2-1-1-1. No power play tonight. And there's the best of 7. It'll be 2-2-1-1-1. All right, and for G, he'll be the ref tonight as acting as a ref. G, please give those most famous words to Bad Brad.
All right, Brad, game 1. How many cards do you want?
Start with 13. G full. Been a while since I commentated with G. He'll be operating the scoreboard. Looking forward to it. Here we go. Brad Ghost, West Coast Showdown, 3 hours on the Pacific time, all the way out in Athens. Let's have a good battle, gents. We started up with the Monkey 3. Ghost with the sportsmanship as always. Let's get her on. Now, Brad G, one of the things we always talk about Bad Brad is he likes to use that deafened trick. We'll see. The card history is on, so I wonder if he will pull that accord tonight. We'll find out. Right now he hasn't, but he's just examining his cards. Bad Brad, of course, gonna keep his name. The classic trademark for Brad. Brad waiting for that first card here. I'll go double up special G's to start it off. Ghost's gonna play that that quick style, rapid mente, as I like to call it, into the green 6, first light switch of the game. Ghost already trying to pre-type to rattle Brad's cage. Brad goes back with the crossover to yellow. Oh, he got him, G! He got him! We talked about this, G. Running that quick style sometimes can cause an error, and right there, that's a big error. G, your thoughts on that error right away? How do you think Brad could take advantage of that?
I mean, look, that's like we were talking about the pace earlier on. So, I mean, we see two, not one, but 2 cards that he has. With 13, I think it's a little more difficult, especially this early, to figure out what you're looking for here. But definitely can use that to your advantage to try to get some sort of play off it to get the game win. So we'll see what he does with it, but it could be one that it costs Ghost big time, or it could be one that just becomes inconsequential in the grand scheme of things.
Brad's still in the lead with the draw city now for possibly on Ghost's end, but with that many cards, G, you got to think it's about picking the right number. We'll see if Brad has a run. He'll go into blue, so he'll just go into a natural switch. Ghost now looking to fire back with 2 cards in his arsenal in green. See if he can get rid of that. Brad now will be behind with the Ghost +2. Oh, Ghost going to send the hammer, G. Triple play, but he gives Brad 6 freshies. Early blood there from Brad. See if he can respond back. Ghost's going to throw a little bit of that gauntlet down. Right now, G, you got to think Ghost wants to be aggressive. You can see it. He's trying to set the pace to where Brad gets sped up. We know Brad is one of the most patient, if not the most patient guy remaining in Super League in terms of being methodical. So I expect Brad to operate under those conditions for sure. Your thoughts on that, G? Just the operations of running a more methodical game style versus fastest style, that what we're going to see from the differences on the table tonight?
I mean, yeah, I honestly don't have much to say on that. I think this was a bit covered in pregame, but I do think we need to keep an eye out on the pace in general. Again, I think games 2 and 3 will be the big tell, but we'll see what happens in terms of this first game here. This could be a bit of a feeler.
We'll see how that feeler goes. Do you appreciate that insight? Here comes Brad. Going to throw. Why? He's going to throw it back. So Brad decides to answer back, and he'll take the lead, G, just like that, not wasting time. Oh, my goodness, Gerard. That is a quad +2. That a comeback? That's 29 cards, G. Man, Brad just goes crazy with it. Maybe you got to think, G, pent up energy, you think, from Brad there? He hasn't played in a long time. 6-bagger, throws the goal, and now Ghost can really just play number and color efficiency, you think. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what he goes with, but that's basically the kind of area here where you can take advantage of it, but you could also fumble it. But yeah, Ghost in a really precarious spot to start things off here.
He is in a precarious spot. Going to try one of those number efficient plays and hope the colors don't work out. But Brad's still with plenty of arsenal cards with 9. You have to think he'll have something in there. Ghost going to take his time, though, and think these switches effectively. 3 minutes into this game so far, G. Nothing really to say other than Brad now going to run a little bit of this red. Let's see if Ghost can run the red as well. A long way to go from him. Ghost has been given the gauntlet after he threw the gauntlet on the first. This would be a comeback. Red 5. Is Ghost going to run a clean DJ Curtis play? Can Brad answer? He goes for a little more unconventional, throw the ammo down. This is not what we usually see from Brad, but maybe he's learned and said, you know what? I've seen WB do this. I've seen other players do it. Maybe he's evolved a little bit in the break. Gee, we did see it tonight. Nam did create a 23 card comeback. I know the stat sheet's a little bit down, but we did see a 23 because it's not out of the usual to see comebacks in Super. We've seen a couple, but this would be the biggest for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Brad in a good spot right here, running these numbers down the red, trying to find a little bit of a leeway. 19 possessions, a long way to go before we see Ghost anywhere in the territory back in the island. Brad for a double. Brad looking for a triple. Maybe a quad to close it. He's got a quad. Brad in the zone now, G. Finding it for sure. He's finding everything he wants. He just threw the hammer down there, G. You got to think Ghost now has to fire back. You think he's got a +4 up his sleeve, or you think he saves it for maybe a possible chain?
It depends on the situation. Brad is slowly creeping his way towards getting the game win
Good move
here,
there.
as Ghost is going to do a wild red here to try and stall things out a bit. But again, just depends on what Brad has here. He really needs to find a draw at this point.
Got it.
And just as I say, there it is. So he can work with that here and figure out what he needs to
A
do. And that's going to
KT
be another
Classic
draw.
at 26 cards. Huh.
That might need a check.
Let me check the card history. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see what Brad. Well, never mind, G. I think Brad opened it up. I kind of caught everyone off guard. Let's see. Gee, this is what is going on here? Trips wild. We've seen a lot of unconventional plays here. This is an unconventional one in itself. I haven't seen one of these since Monkey Boy. Well, let's see if Brad can cope. Did he have a run to finish on blue, or he may have had a run. God, I think Ghost is playing here, G, for sure. Now Brad will maybe draw. We'll see. He picked the right number. Is that a blue deuce coming from Brad? No, it's a green deuce. Ghost with the crossover.
Yeah.
Great move, G. We've seen that classic crossover.
I was honestly figuring he'd have a crossover here at that point. I think that was really what he was trying to cover, but just going to run it again here.
Remember, only 1+2 left. Yeah, Brad gets the blue he wants, but is it crossover city? Kinda.
Okay.
Back to green, though. Brad could have wanted green. He did. So Brad did want green, but he did have a blue wild, so that's interesting. A lot of tic tacs here, G. A lot of tic tacs and no toe yet, but we're dancing around the fire with these wilds and trying to isolate the game a little bit longer. That was an interesting ISO from Ghost. Into a green 3. We saw it earlier. Brad looking for check. Does he have a blue 3 to come back? Game's over. That's what it was. Gee, solid hand. You can't do much about that if you're good. Brad, I have to say, man, we talk about in the past, maybe you wouldn't throw all those +2s out. Right? You wouldn't throw all those +2s. But you threw all those +2s, and then you had almost a differential with the +4. Was that mainly the bot giving it to you, or was that a case of, you know what, you forced Ghost to use his +2s and you got the good stuff in return? Did you force Ghost's hand a little bit and got that in return, or was that the bot helping you out? Because it looks like it was a fair game off the get-go. Ghost had stuff, for sure. Ghost, I mean, you decided to throw the gauntlet down. Did you feel rushed in the case of you thought maybe Brad had a run at 12 cards, or what was the theory behind that double +2 play and a little bit of trying to KT Classic with the red wild? That was well, you know, we have a rule on the 20 card back, right, G? That was as close as you can cut. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Wow, I had the 4+2s after Ghost's plus. I knew that if I play all of them, there would only be 2 left. So that was a case of the CH coming into play. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to watch that, G, though, because that, what is that? DQ? No, lost a game, right?
That would be a game. That would be a game loss. Yeah.
Yeah, that one I'm a little surprised you wouldn't have. But that one we'll let it go for there because I let it slide. We kind of got off guard with it, but yeah, just keep it on that 20 cards thing. Okay, yeah, that's fine. As long if you just didn't have a red, okay. But if you had no ammo, if you just legit had no ammo, then all right. So I guess you were just trying. So basically, it goes from what I get, that double +2 is more of a defensive tactic, right? You figured, okay, well, you got to fear Brad could have had a run. You play defense and hope it sticks at the end. Is that how we're gathering it for sure? Yeah, gee, I think there's not much to say after that game one in terms of tactics. I think you're right. Game 2 and 3 will be more of the answer. You look at the stat, it doesn't really matter. It's still early. Brad just had a little bit more of a number, I think, on that game, and he figured it out for sure. And we started the game too, G, with 13 cards, so it made sense that Brad played 22 after 9 cards drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what will be here with Ghost on the answer, and then we'll get to game 2. Remember, this is CSR, so that means Brad. Oh, G will play the log on. Make sure you put the log on for the fans, of course. 13 cards will be off the board. Uno log.
What is it?
Uno.
Oh no, I guess.
It's been a while since G's ref. All good. Just waiting for Ghost's answer, and we'll get it going. But I got a feeling I know where we're going with this. The +2s are my trying to move to a better color, but that backfire mentally just gave him. All right, makes sense. Brad, are we going for the 12 pack? I've seen this movie before. What do we got, buddy? You bet. Yes, sir. I knew that was coming. All right, here we go. The old classic.
Ooh.
Little free choice. Okay. G, the Cardinals.
Okay. Interesting choice.
Well, it'll be Brad's turn. Now, Brad, you know how this works. Brad likes racing, G. It's free choice attire. There is no way he's trying. No shot. Brad's going to play this one straight up. You know, it's Brad. He's always going to play it. Yeah, can't really fault that Ghost because Brad he does like racing. We racing guys, we do like free choice attire. But Brad will kind of do a quasi draw. Interesting, G, right there. He picked his least amount of color in red. Interesting.
Okay, draw from Brad there, and that. Okay. So doesn't seem like much red on the start from Brad here.
We saw that a lot with Nam JT. There was no red, ironically. Let's see. Well, he's going to switch it now, so he gets the switch, but Ghost immediately undercuts. Ghost with a 4-possession lead. Brad looking to get this to 3. He will. Ghost plays it clean. Brad now looking to fire back. Very patient. Goes into a blue 1. Bad Brad now. Trying to cut the gap. Ghost looking to run the gap. He will with 1 extra card into the blue 6 now. We're wondering if the blues would run at any time. No ISO. There goes Brad to a green. Switches it back. That would have been Brad Ghost's next play. They're mirror playing now. Ditto play. Haven't seen that.
First ditto of the game.
Yep, first ditto, G. Appreciate that. G, right now, they're both now. They're playing a little quicker, G. Brad's starting to play a little quicker. You wonder if that favors Ghost on the back end. Zero Sugar. One of the new players in the league. Jenna coming to D1. Here comes Brad now, looking to find a possible stop to Ghost his plan. Brad loading up. Taking his time. He's down 4 possessions, looking to cut into that lead. He will. There it is, G. The double +2. And he gets into it. He gets his scoreboard flipper right there. 4-10. 10-4, good buddy, says Brad. Ghost looking to fire back. Does he have ISO to green? Or does he run the red? He's going to run the red. Brad now, does he have any more red? He does not, so he just runs it clean there, G. Straight classic play. Looking for a number efficiency move, maybe. Is that 9 the wrong number? It is. Brad gets the yellow. Goes back to blue. Undercut. Brad nothing.
Oh, okay.
1 possession. Brad up by a possession. Brad looking for 2. No. Ghost ties it. He's got it. Now he's up a possession. Brad looking for the tie back.
This is what Ghost needed here at this point because Brad was kind of just rolling with the momentum, and now Ghost
Ooh.
is just kind of taking advantage of here. Gets off the blue here, but I think the damage has been done here already.
Do you think the damage might be done as Brad with top deck or maybe a save to keep this one back in the contention for him? God, I think, Ghost needs this game. Going down 2-0 against Brad is a interesting prospect. Let's see what Brad can do to get this one into a 2-0, though. Looking to fire home. He did a good job saving the yellow earlier. Does he have a save here? He goes in the green, plays a little bit aggressive.
It's an interesting call here because he drew on the blue 8 before.
Is that what Ghost needs to run it? No, just a double, though. Now Brad's got a chance to fire back here. Do you think something's coming? Brad plays it cool. Ghost? Nothing. Wow, Brad, the methodical style is working. Now he can run the green. Gets out of these pickles. That's how Brad does it. Now he plays numbers. Ghost looking for a top deck, doesn't have it. And Brad, just like that, looks for the lead, but he doesn't have it. He goes into a straight dry pattern. Crazy. What do you think so far, G, with these isolation tactics? Both guys have done a good job to almost isolate each other. Play 2-color iso ball. Thoughts on that?
I mean, this second game's been a back and forth here, and for Ghost, it's been needing to be a bit more on the aggressive in terms of getting these blocks down because he can't be falling to 2-0 again, as you said before. So I'm liking what Ghost has been doing here, but needs to find something soon to be able to get towards a finish here. But that's not really going to help him much, as he's going to just ditto himself on the draw city.
That's usually just a sign of, okay, Brad can play this pretty patient if he wants, and he will. Yeah, nothing you can do. Plays it patient. Could have saved that card, G. Could have saved that card, too. But he decides to play it. Now Brad looking to seize a little momentum back, maybe get this into a possible switching game. He doesn't. Ghost finds another green. Brad continuing to draw back. There's the red. Does Brad try to cross back over? No. Now they run the reds from here. Here comes Brad again trying to fire back. Ghost seems to have a run. Back to green. Brad saved it, G. What a save.
Ghost has nothing to offer with the draw.
Gee, we both can appreciate that play. We used to do that a lot back in 2023. That's a classic play. Just don't fade the green, save the green. It's the old save tactic, for sure. Brad now, let's see if he can cook more on greens, or did he save just one or two? Let's find out. He's thinking now, G. You got to use that CH. It's open to the public now, and the CH would say green is pretty much iced out. There's not much left. Only nines are left and a couple other cards. Brad taking his time, analyzing the situation. He'll go into yellow. One up this time from Ghost. Here comes Brad. I think got to be a run coming here from the Bradster. Bad Brad looking for a run. Wouldn't have made that move if the run wasn't coming. Plays it cool. So does Ghost.
It's another double.
Yep, ditto. Self-ditto. Self-ditto. Brad taking his time. Is it too patient? Does Ghost have a possible run? Ghost looking for a possible check for the first time and maybe get this to a 1-1. It is a 1-1. He plays the +2. So Brad rushed the yellow. Could have stayed on the green. Interesting. I'm going to ask Brad that. Brad, you could have stayed on the green and played draw city. Decided to make the break. Why the break? Did you have a possible run to the finish and got beat, or was it a case of you couldn't find the flush on the red earlier? You ultimately couldn't. You got iced out. Ghost, big win right there. I wait for Brad here. Let's see what he says. Gee, it's interesting right there because you could have just played had a run of blue. That's all I had. So he was kind of boxed down in the blue. Interesting. Ghost, was that just the case of you took advantage of the blue and decided to play ISO ball on the green, where it led you into a good draw as a touch tip? Both played some strong ISO. Yeah. Very, very much ISO tech. Gee, early in the game, I think we're starting to see ISO is going to be key. Playing 2-color ISO ball, not trying to rush the color, could matter more in a game where it seems the game flow is leaning towards that, especially with a 1-1. Thoughts on the ISO tactics early, and Brad playing this more methodical, Ghost still trying to speed the pace up?
I mean, obviously good stuff there, but I think at the end it really helped Ghost more. Again, was able to line that up and able to hold that run to the end with the +2 in the wild. I mean, I think that wild hold's important because um, didn't have to burn it to reveal some of his hand, but was able to get the job done here. I think really for Brad, it was just trying to jump for the yellow there. And I think especially with him not really having a path there, maybe he could have reconsidered that, but again, has to look around to see what he needed to do to try and play the deck, but just got unlucky there. So 1-1 here, kind of similar start to what we saw in the game earlier tonight.
Yep, 1-1 now. Going to be a classic back and forth duel now. We'll see, G. Ghost has a lot of card start variety. Arrow flips to him. Ghost, 12's off the board for the rest of the night. Free board, everything else. What do we got, my man? We're going to keep it
I got a
high, G.
13.
Okay, back to the game one starter. Here comes Ghost now, looking to start it back on the 13. Brad had just one off the 13. Be a work in progress right now for both guys. I think figuring out this high tier as we go GL mode. We'll start with the background character. You know Ghost is going to try to fire off fast here, G. You know that's what he wants to do. Get that quick banker lap in and fire off. Q trim every time with Ghost. Brad now going to try to play a more methodical style. Had a little bit of a burnt on the blue, as he said the last game, but still found a way to get it close and keep it close. Ultimately got burned on just one color. Decided to go for another color. Brad going to go aggressive early, G. Try the switching. Saw the first game. He kind of played it as that's a play and a half. Red 3, green 6. Interesting. That could be something Brad could possibly cue in later. Brad now looking to fire back. Plays it clean. And Ghost is drawing. Here comes Brad now. Off the greens.
Gonna be another. That's gonna be a first draw of the game here for Ghost. That's not really what he needs early on, especially when he came off a loss on 13 cards from game one.
Yeah, interesting. Your thoughts on that choice, G? Interesting. It was definitely a gamble and a half, for sure.
I mean, we'll see what happens with it, but I think right now this is not working out well, and I'm a little surprised he decided to go back to 13 so soon.
Yep, it's going to show lost game 1, 13 cards. There's the custom message shown. Brad going to play it clean. G going to be our score. So we're back to red now, G. So that's a two-color box. We talked about that. Trying to play this two-color ISO ball. We've seen that with this new bot. It's more apparent than ever. Brad will run with it. He'll cope with it, and it's a peer. Ghost probably going to stay with it. Yep. That was actually that I was talking about that red 3 misplay, so that was interesting. That was a true play. Just to decipher that. Brad double play first one of the game. Has the lead. Now Ghost looking to fire back on some red. But he doesn't have any G. This is big for Brad. Brad looking to possibly push the pace some more.
Yeah, that's the second color that Ghost has drawn on. First the green, now the red. So this could be a very two-color sided hand, but we'll have to see.
Two-color ball. We'll see what happens here. Brad now taking his time, thinking this one through. G looking to go up 2-1. Brad really taking his time here on this one. Remember, G, no really need for you don't have to do 4 command chains tonight. I don't see it with no power play. I don't think we're going to see that, but you never know. Some guys will stay in rhythm, some won't. We'll see that maybe tomorrow. Sanford will definitely stay in rhythm. Guy like that. Brad plays it cool, and that's hard to get off the switch. That's a clean move.
Brad has been playing this relatively slow here, so
You wonder if the CH is coming into play, G. You got to think that card history is available now. Brad being with that. He's going to go to green. That's still two-color ball. That's still two-color. Let's see if Brad can cope more with the green, or is he just going to try an ISO play and ultimately ice himself? No, he might only have two, G. He might only have two. Interesting. Ghost not going to. You don't want to rush that. That's the thing. You don't want to rush another color and then it's a fade look and it's over. Ghost just going to throw a +4 and hammer it in there. Get this back to a one possession game. Brad looking for two here, though. You think that's more defensive +4G? You got to think that many cards. He's just trying to close the gap there. Play a little scoreboard watching.
Potentially, yeah.
Zero sugar. Hard to switch off that, so maybe he's just going to play defensive. There's what we're talking about with that theory. Brad looking for a possible double. Loading up here. Well, there's the zero sugar switch, but Ghost was ready for it, man. I still amazes me how he types that quick, G. It's crazy. Brad in the blue. What's that, G?
Ghost playing his first two skips of the entire match thus far, right there. So,
Oh
and
my
big run
goodness.
here, another run, and suddenly that gap is dwindled, and Ghost is now very close to getting a game win here.
Ghost looking for the win. Oh my God, monster stuff. There's nothing you can do about that, G. Nothing you can do. Ghost just played that perfectly on the patience game. The red was the ultimate thing as the end around. Ghost, I gotta say, had to be a monster hand. I gotta say, was that a monster hand at the start? You were able to use the red as a patience play and ultimately got Brad and Cyclops right there. Brad, did you have something cooked? All I had was oh man, that's yeah. Brad, earlier you looked pretty good. You seemed to be in control, and then all of a sudden, Ghost just flipped it. Could you have maybe? I don't think you could have done much. The only thing you could have done was hope that he would have played another blue, and then maybe throw a +2 to delay the inevitable. I don't think you could have. I don't think you could have done much. Gee, the game is flip flopped. It went from a more cleaner game to ammo heavy, and then favoring Ghost. And you gotta think Ghost has been through exhaustion wars. Brad coming fresh off the bye, it's a little bit different to get back in the game. But if he only had a blue +2, you wonder if it's just keeping an upper tier consistency. It splits on the favor. Thoughts on just the game style? That was not isolation. That was a powerful hand. Brad almost got the job done, even with the blue play. He got down to a couple. He got down to 3 cards at one point. Just got beat to the punch, really.
Again, I said it before this game started. 2 and 3 would be the ones that to keep an eye out on the most. I think this kind of just plays in hand with how game 2 went. This one definitely was more ammo heavy, but Ghost is able to be the one who comes out on top for both of them. So we'll see how Ghost carries this. I mean, he does have a 2-1 advantage here going to game 4 with his homestand. If he could get up to 3-1, he's in a really good spot to potentially move on and knock Brad out early.
We'll see what happens here, G. Big moment for Brad. He's got to get this back to a 2-2 and get it back to game 5. Huge moment, but Ghost right now is firing away. He talked about just having that one color strap, but he had a bunch of ammo, a bunch of that clean stuff to get the finish, and there it was. Ghost 2 games away. Brad looking for a tie right here in game 4. Big moment. Ghost, your thoughts before we get to this next game. Your thoughts on just the fact of Brad's style. You figured out Brad's methodical style, and Brad, how do you adjust knowing that Ghost is starting to put a little bit more of a quicker number on you? How do you adjust to that? Yeah, right now, G, this is an interesting game, man. These are games you rarely see ever get to the bottom. You never really see games get to the bottom of anything, but this one so far has been a bottom type of game where a lot of the ammo is getting more diverse and split, and the ammo, sometimes when it's diverse and split, can run all over the map. And you wonder if Brad could break that mold. I think it have to be more, I don't know. Yeah, right now it's hard to read. I wouldn't say Brad doing nothing wrong, but I also wouldn't say Ghost isn't doing anything right. It really is coming down to, can Brad find the methodical pace and that ammo control and that aggression, whereas I think Ghost is starting to find a little bit of that magic at the back for sure. We'll see what Ghost says before we get into this game 4. Big moment, like I said, Ghost looking for a 3-1, as G mentioned. If Ghost gets that 3-1, Boy, oh boy, things will be really intense for Brad here. He's got to rally back to tie 2-2. We saw tonight with JT. Anything's possible in this game when it's a best of three, especially. And waiting for Ghost to start. Reminder one more time, as I always tell you, it'll be 7 o'clock tomorrow. Chami Toasty, very early for Chami and Toasty. They'll be playing Sunday and Saturday night, respectively. And of course, Sanford, Tapir, Sanford, however you slice it, going to be a go one at 9:30. Just have to play slow to keep my thoughts in check against Brad. Making a lot of mistakes. I can't, and I gotta get my head in the game. Yeah, so you don't want to get overthinking mode, G. We've seen that before, especially with Brad and Ghost. It's all about the mentality with both guys. All right, Ghost, last home game, possibly till Game 6. Your call, man. 13's fresh out and 12. What's your thoughts?
Oh, wrong one.
Oh, good catch, G. Don't want to start that with the wrong card. You good there for it. It's been a while since G's ref the game. We're going to start off with a short +2. This is interesting, G. How aggressive will Brad be? How aggressive will Ghost be? We'll see on these +2 starters. Brad,
both have stuck really
man.
with the high card also.
Gee, that's a huge aggression play from Ghost. He's going to send the +4 heat check over to Brad. He'll be down 6 possessions early.
I don't tend to love that play on a higher card start. We'll see how it plays out, but not sure about that one.
Unless Ghost legit had nothing, he just wanted to go for it, but we'll find out. Could be a fade look over to Red. He may have nothing. We'll see. Brad now, a long way to go, but needs to find something here. Brad taking his time here, trying to find a little bit of rhythm on the color efficiency. He's going to play it cool. Ghost looking to run this to 9. Yeah, gee, he's going straight toggle mode here. A lot of light switching. A lot of light switching from Ghost, trying to get Brad off his toes. Brad's going to go into that, play into it a little bit. But Ghost will as well. Brad now taking his time, trying to get this down to 4 possessions. The original starting card with his own card. There it is. The bad Brad Blue Deuce. Ghost will go into red to Zach, possibly. Yep, there it is.
Ghost has been leading these switches here thus far in Game 4.
Looking really good now from... Yeah, the color switches have been interesting, G, to keep a track on. Ghost trying to find a little bit more rhythm on staying on one color maybe towards the end. Maybe tries to be a little more aggressive with the switching early. Brad trying to say be more aggressive, but does he have the opportunity? That's the question. Brad looking to find something right here. Double red 3 into the Kev. He's down 5 possessions for sure. The G?
Brad probably looking something here to lower the gap, but also taking a while to think possibly. I mean, Brad's been slowing this game down to a certain extent, but Ghost is getting some of these burst plays, and that is a +12.
Gigantic play from Brad right there, G. Similar to Game 1. Flip the scoreboard. And now Brad in the lead. Brad up by... Is that true? Yeah, I mean, he's right, G. A lot of the +2s are gone, so Brad playing percentage is interesting. Except for yellow. Yeah, Brad definitely playing the percentages tonight. It's an interesting gameplay, for sure. Like I said, more methodical, playing the card history. Similar to Game 1. Definitely got a Game 1 vibe, for sure. We saw Brad take care of business there. Momentum can shift at any point. I think if you're Ghost right here, you're in a good spot now. G, you got the cards. You got what you need. No comeback. Just one short. Brad looking for more yellow.
That completely flipped the scoreboard there because Ghost was kind of on his way to try to get to the end, and just Brad launches him back to 19. Now Ghost is trying to work from behind.
Yeah, if I'm Ghost, you don't panic right here, right? We talk about being composed, G. We talk about composure. If you're Ghost, you don't panic. You're still in a good spot. Brad may have just burnt all his ammo. Brad looking to find a rhythm here as well, though. He saw game one. He really only had a 2-card finish in game one, so he really never had the ammo after that +2. So Ghost is probably looking through his database. Now Brad thinking, probably using a little bit of that CH. Looking at those stats too, seeing where the rhythm could be. Definitely this what you see from Brad here, G, you're going to see a lot of this from some of the other Buy Island players. We know Ashley's got that in her bag. I have that in my bag for sure. A lot more of the Buy Island players are more methodical. We talked about this. It's appeared to an extent. Tago, however, is quick. Cap is quick. So those are the two exceptions.
Ooh, +4.
Gets it. You got it. There you go. So really aggressive from Brad. He's turning on the whip, and that's a card comeback. G20 on the dot.
The question is, will he be able to capitalize on it?
Does Ghost just flip the scoreboard and say, hey, you know what? I'm going back to yell. Let's find out. That's what he could do. He could just flip this right to yellow and test Brad. Let's see. Ghost going to think this one through. He's going to, well, he flips it with the +4. So that's +4 is getting off the table, G. It's not the worst thing for either player. It becomes more of a skill game when you narrow it down. Brad will cope. Still in the lead by plenty of margin here for Brad. Nice 11 possession lead. Ghost going to run it. Now Brad looking to find some more blue. So you have some more. Brad thinking on this one, G. We talked about that pace. We're definitely thinking on this one tonight because pace is slower. Brad's out, but the pace is a little slower than compared to that first game we had with JT. Now a lot more quicker, even with the 21-minute game. A lot more quicker plays.
I don't think Ghost is necessarily complaining about that, though, especially with that draw there, especially with the +4. So he's really getting himself in a better spot going into the latter half of this game.
Yeah, Brad definitely a little bit less methodical tonight, trying to go aggressive. He talked about that. Maybe being down forced his hand a little. Here comes Brad, though. Plenty of cards. He's going to get to green. What's it going to be from Ghost here? Brad threw a lot of the gauntlets +2s down. Well, gee, at this rate, green's a neutral color because there is no crazy +2 other than one left. So if someone's got it, then he's playing more of a neutralizer in game. And Brad's going to go for the reverse chain, looking for a triple. Maybe a quad. Brad looking for 4, maybe 3. He'll get 4. Brad switches the color, continues to keep the pressure on. 11 possessions. Goes back to green. Good move. Good ISO. But does Brad have a 6?
Does Brad have a green?
No green. In the red. That's interesting, G, for sure.
And no, going back to green here.
End around.
Another green. Three card switch.
Oh, we get wrong number, G. Wrong number. Wow.
Does he have another one? Does Ghost have another one here?
Let's see. Yeah, he would. He could. Brad finding everything he wants on numbers, but man, got lucky. Ghost is out.
No, ran out. Draws on 11.
Is that Brad for the win to tie it?
Just past 8 minutes as well.
Is this a tie, or are we going to go check? That's it. Wow. Gee, there it is, yeah. I got to say, that was similar to Game 1. It almost was the same song. Brad, once again, Game 1, very similar type hand where you had a monster load of +2s, and you're able to just use a little split ammo and then use a little back-end magic on the red. Talk to me about how you've been able to get that. Basically got a little lucky with the red one, too. But talk to me about how you were able to push the pace. And are you playing more percentages with the card history open now, considering the +2s are getting lower in the deck? Talk to me about your percentage gameplay that's working tonight, especially when you get the cards. Ghost, how do you adapt to the percentage gameplay now? Because it's going back to Brad's homestand. Pivotal game 5 now. Usually the winner of game 5 can make it happen. We just saw it tonight. Nam won game 5 and didn't get it done. So how do you manage the stress? And was it that game just similar to the game 1 where you felt Brad just had that overpowering hand, he couldn't really do much, or did you think, okay, you got to just take this one on the lumps if he had no +2s and accept the defeat? It started with getting all those cards that I basically we talked about the double-edged sword with that +2. If he would have been more patient on that +2, those cards aren't going Brad's way. Maybe they will go Brad's way, but a little bit later in the game, and Ghost could have ran. So, yeah, Ghost, I was going to ask, the +2 ultimately killed you on the start. Now, do you try to adjust now, knowing that could be a double-edged sword? See, we talk about the +2 start. I know you're not a big fan of it. I personally don't like that move unless it's 5-card start or something. Thoughts on? Yeah, I almost had to accept that one, but just had to make the most of it. Okay. So it was a similar game 1 story, almost the same song, but a little bit different verse. Maybe the 5th verse, because we didn't go consequentially game 1 and 2. Thoughts on just the atmosphere tonight, G? A lot of different games. The ammo's been pretty even. You look at it all the way through. It basically has 7 and 5 +4 wilds combined. Brad's had more +2s, but for that compensation, Ghost has had 2 more +4s or 2 more wilds, and he's had 1 reverse extra. So your thoughts on just the ammo being pretty split and Brad tying the series back up to a similar game 1 hand? Thoughts on that?
I want to harp on the wilds here. It just came up on it's on the ticker, but
Yes,
every
sir.
single game thus far has ended with some sort of variation of a wild, whether it be a +4 or wild itself, based off the run. So interesting thing to point that out for. We're seeing a lot of saves on on the wilds here, and that's really the key to finishing these games. So hasn't been a situation where the game ends on just like a sole number. It's been some sort of run to the finish. So might be something to keep an eye out for in these last 3 games, but ties up 2-2 here. Has been quite the back and forth here, but critical game 5 coming up.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna did you put the custom messages up there? Yeah, all games, first +4 to game from Go. Okay. Yep, we're still trying that stuff out. You're good.
I put that up before.
Oh,
I,
you good,
I
you
put
good.
it up before.
You good, you appreciate that.
I got the customs. Don't worry.
I appreciate that, G. Just want to make sure, just for my knowledge, just making sure that works. Pretty good. All right, well, G, we're gonna go to Uno log that real quick, G, just so those guys know what to not pick. Hold on. I'm pretty sure Brad just can't pick the 14 and the 13. Yeah, all right, Brad, everything's open but 13, 14. Your 5th game, man, crucial one, big moment here. What do we got?
Ooh,
Drop
okay.
it down. First mid-tier start, 10 cards, a little bit different. Big moment here, G. If Brad gets the win, he'll be up 3-2 and could finish it. If Ghost gets the win, could try to finish it. Remember, no power play. Red 0. Can Brad find a little bit more of that patience game? Will there be monster hands? We're going to find out. Brad looking for a 3-2. He'll go switch it, or aggressive switch early, G. That's rare as you can go. There's sugar off the start. Does Ghost draw try to get Brad into a loophole? Let's find out. That's a
And the
crazy play
wild
early.
start off.
Crazy play from Ghost. He's going to go aggressive. Does Brad cope with that? He doesn't. He doesn't have anything, G. KT Classic got a red wild. Off the starter. Wow. Thoughts on that, G?
That's one thing. That's one thing if it's one side not getting red, but I mean both sides getting red, meaning red being super dry on that start. That's interesting. I'm curious how that's going to play out if we get into these draw cities.
Well, that's the thing, G. Ghost could have had a choice. He could have went to a different color. So this is a similar game to Nam and JT, where Nam's respecting JT with the concerning blue and yellow. In this case, everyone's respecting each other on the other 3 colors. It's a different type of gameplay for sure.
I honestly think that early wild stall was more of a tell for Ghost. I don't know if I love that play, but we'll see how it plays out here. We have a draw city going, and it's really just gonna be who breaks it first.
Into that Ashley Wild right now. Who will break that first? It's going to be a wink and blink battle. Let me just see real quick, G.
I mean, go up to 16.
Something's got to give. See if Brad maybe breaks it right here. Ironically, Brad denied Ghost his 20 card comeback twice. So no comebacks yet in this series. He's won the 2 games where he had more than 20. Brad with the possession arrow till he plays. Yeah, gee, I think they're just playing the lottery right now. I don't really got much to add here. It's kind of wait and see moment.
Well, I mean, if this keeps going, we got the the card drawback rule that could be coming into play. I mean, we have 18 here.
They still got 2 more to draw. You think still can draw twice? Unless they're just legit nothing. Well, if you get a 20,
You can't go.
do you want to go for it?
Yeah, I mean, if you have 20 or more cards, you can't draw unless you literally have nothing.
You technically broke that game 1, but we kind of got caught off guard, so it wouldn't matter. You lost the game, so all good. Sometimes we just get caught off guard. Sometimes if it's our mistake, it's all good. But that game the ammo kind of got exhausted, so I understand. It's more of a pace of play rule after Pierce Stingray. We adopted that. Well, this is off the start, G. Basically, I know Brad. Well, I know Ghost played the Wild, but ever since then, yeah, it's been a off the starter kind of deal here. And well, still nothing. 19 up here. Let's see. One more draw allowed. You can still draw back one more time. Gee, this is definitely the most interesting game 5-star. A lot of gamesmanship to say the least. Let's see if Brad breaks the train right now.
There it is.
He will. In the red too, that's good. Ghost can still draw back one if he wants. Let's see what he does. Does he break it or does he switch it? Or does he just go back to one more card? We'll find out. He'll switch it. So now the fireworks can start, G. I think we're going to start seeing it right here. Brad Ghost.
That's a weird start because that essentially threw out the 10 card start here. So
Yeah, all new ball game now, G. 19 starter. Let's see. Brad looking for rhythm. Much more of a fuller send for sure. A Hardy send. Let's go with the Hardy send. Remember, we've seen fuller sends with the 16 cards in third place game. No plans on adding a 16 card start though in the regular season mode. Not for next year at least. Still will be for third place though. Yellow 2. So that's 3 colors, G. Ironically, we're missing the blue, but we think we're drawing red. That's okay. Well, now we got Pandora's, G. Kinda. We're still missing the red somehow, in a weird loophole around. One down for M from Lane. Ghost moves it up to the top forward Nick. Yeah, G, right now you got to think with the red being so deficient, as we go back to yellow and Alex, with the red being so deficient, you wonder if there's a save tactic coming because you don't usually see that off the start, which is one color, and a wild being played. They must be respecting the colors, or maybe they're just truly deficient. Maybe all the reds are at the bottom of the deck. We'll find out. I think there's still red in the tank. Let's see. Here comes Brad. Brad really taking his time. He's going to switch it back to green. So now we're playing this cross city check here on the colors.
and continue just running the numbers here. It hasn't really been much ammo played thus far, besides that wild red at the start.
And a yellow reverse. That's it. Yep, the only 2 ammo cards. Really easy here. You look at the stats here, G. I guess it's one thing to know in the stats that they've drawn almost 50 times combined, self-drawn. Cards drawn obviously higher. We talked about this, G. We said, was that red deficient or were they just hiding it? And a lot of light switching. Now we're going to play it out here. Let's see. That would be an interesting strategy, G, to throw red wild and try to bank on getting more of the red cards. Yeah, that's an interesting thing to note so far. In the ghost, his own card. Really strategical from both here. Brad draws though, G. He may be low on it. May get bailed out though.
Potentially.
He will. Yep. So something about no red for Brad. That's fascinating, G. As Ghost is going to go into red. Back to the Ashley Wild, which that's 2 of them now from Ghost in this game. Does Brad have any save tactic? That'd be something. Brad really taking his time. He's loading up. Oh, gee, that's a classic. You know what? Fade the red look is far. That's a. Oh man, that's a. I know that play. I fade the red as long as possible and put him with your pants down. I've seen that one before.
Switch the blue.
Yep, you force the color hand. So now Brad with the possession arrow and a big lead here if he can run the blue. 1 possession, but he could run it big here if he has blue on the back end. Does Brad have some blue in the back end here? Should have something, you think. Nothing. Interesting.
He has green.
We'll back to
Now we got
red.
red.
Is it 8 heaven? Do they have another 8 in the back pocket? No. Ghost draws out his ISO
Another
play.
draw.
Oh man. We're back to this
And
again,
another
G.
draw on the red. Never mind.
+2 city. Gives Brad 2 freshies. What an ISO play from Ghost right there on the red. If he wins this game, you gotta go back to that moment. Brad in the yellow. But Ghost no yellow. It's 2 color.
A draw.
Brad looking for the possible tie here. Maybe takes the lead. If he can get a multiple play. Singular play. Ghost is out. Brad now looking for the flipper right here. Does he have the flipper? He does, and he's got it, G. Your own car with the monkey. So Brad now flips the scoreboard. He's up a couple. Back and forth we go. Into blue.
Blue.
New color into the switch. A little light switch action. Gee, thoughts on the aggressive light switching after a pretty lackluster start? Ditto play there.
I think a lot of this lackluster start was just on the red color. We've seen a lot of this on the other colors. Red has just not been really that engaging, though.
No, it hasn't been efficient at all. Brad's still PA, despite the +2. Comes Brad, taking his time. We'll have the possession arrow. Back to red. Well, that's been a problem all night. It's been a problem all night. Ghost +4. He's just going to throw it down there. Interesting. Does Brad have any red to get back to, or does he try to counter of his own? Ghost has really evolved his game style, G, to be more methodical too. He's playing quick, but he's playing with Brad as fast as he can. Brad, just a double. What? What the heck?
It might have been the space in between the Uno and the P.
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, I think you're right, G. Oh yeah, it is a space in the wow. So let's see if Brad can get away with it then. He may be able to get away with it actually.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what we're looking at, or maybe it's just no green reverse in general. I don't know.
Oh yeah, sometimes there could be that too. Back to red. Draws out. So Ghost and Brad still issues on the red. It's been deficient. Brad reverse. Does he have a green reverse? No. So maybe he didn't have the reverse.
I'm thinking you might not have had the reverse because on this spot it doesn't tell you if you don't have that card.
Eh,
It just goes nothing. So
blank check
that's
there. Yeah, a little blank check.
that
Now the
is a
red's coming back.
possibility.
Yeah, blank check there, G. Good point. No draw. Or no red. I mean, we're not going to see any. It appears there's just no red in this deck here to the bottom. It looks like.
Red skip. Might get out of this.
He
There we
gets
go.
out
Blue
of it for
skip.
sure. Oh
Could have just
my
got bailed out
goodness,
here.
this might be game, G. Crazy top deck energy here. He might have finished it.
And then looking for
Oh
the green
my
reverse
God,
here.
Brad gets the
He
call out.
passes up. Big mistake from Ghost there.
Oh, it's a mistake, G. He had it won. You
Here's
got
the
to.
double space. I see it right there.
Yeah, that's a clear double mistake. So Brad, I don't think had the green reverse. Ghost just made a mistake. Oh man, that's a killer for Ghost G. He had that one.
I mean, especially in such a critical game 5 here.
Well, now Ghost's turn. He'll probably at this rate, knowing Ghost, he probably just gonna draw. Yeah, probably can't believe himself right now. Brad, as we go for probably a time check, G.
We could check the log.
Oh, you're
I
checking
think
the log.
we're at 13. We're at 13
Yeah,
minutes here.
long
So
game.
I mean,
Definitely could have ended, but for sure, Brad, great awareness. And now Brad's just gonna draw. I mean, it's the little mistakes, too. We talked about this with Ghost. Playing sometimes too quick out of your skin, it can cost you. It can fire back in the wrong direction.
to my mind, this is the second time this season Brad has been able to escape from a mistake with a call out.
Yeah, third time actually. Gee,
So
the Ellison
third
one.
time.
Ellison one. He got a call out on JT back in May. He actually got a call out back against it was who was he playing? Stingray back in March. He's done this multiple times this year. Brad has a knack for just being aware of the table. Ghost, I think, just had a knack of finishing the game there, and it's an old adage, right, G? You got the touchdown in sight, but you dropped the ball at the 1 yard line before you score. It's kind of how it is with that missed Uno. And Brad's gonna make him pay for it, G. There it is. Waited for the old skip opener to close it. He closed it with some 2 extra freshies.
Yeah, there's the 4-bagger, and I mean, we're looking at the time right now, past 14:30, and this is the longest game of the series so far. So a lot on the line in this one to go up 3-2, and I mean, Ghost could have ended it a bit ago, but a mistake keeps it going, and I mean, Brad now has the lead at this point, but Double's going to cut the gap a bit.
We'll cut the gap. Brad's
And
out.
that draw is going to pretty much close it to give Ghost the lead actually here. So Ghost able to reverse fortunes.
And Ghost reverses the fortunes. Does Brad have anything to top it off right here? Nothing. Ghost runs the yellow. Yeah, Brad definitely on defense all night, G. He's going to go into blue. Ghost in the green, though. A lot of the ammo being exhausted. You wonder when Brad can rip one off right here. Remember, that green reverse is still working, so that's what some Brad got to keep in mind. Not many +4s in the deck, hasn't played yet, so you wonder if that's something to watch. Yeah, G, you got to think if and Brad nothing again. Oh my God! Well, Ghost gets it.
That's just the ending there. So Ghost able to escape.
Ghost, I mean, you got the win, but what happened? What was the theory behind that mistake? Were you rushed the finish there? Yeah, typo. It's been the story of Ghost. It's been hit or miss. Brad, you did everything right in that game. You called them out. You pretty much salvaged it, but you went for a kill shot with the green skip into a yellow 4. What was the theory behind that kill shot? Did you just try to hammer the gas, give him 2 cards, and hope there was a back end play, or were you just trying to play defensive, knowing you just didn't have it? You had the cards at the beginning, but then it seemed like you were playing more defensive towards the end. Gee, it's been a yin and yang series. Yeah, I had a lot of blue. I didn't get the right number to switch. Yeah, looking for the blue, G. Looking for the right number, and that's a risky strategy. And Brad did the right thing, I think, going to go for the gap, but ultimately the gap just it closed up because the green was what we talked about, that reverse hanging. You wonder if that's what Ghost was looking for. He was looking for a connector, and he got the connector to finish it. Well, gee, a big possible upset on the making right here, despite some mistakes. Thoughts on what Brad's got to do to get this to a Game 7? Basically in a JT situation right now.
I mean, he's not going to have control of this card start here for game 6, so he's going to have to just find something in the cards to get an advantage at this point. I mean, for Brad, the only thing I could really think of is hold the blue 5 to kind of block the green 5 switch. But I mean, again, this is kind of like a hindsight thing. But Ghost was able to get away with that one. It won away from getting the win and having Brad's Super League end with just one match, which would be kind of crazy. But interesting spot that we've gotten into going into this game 6.
Yeah, big Game 6. We're going to go log real quick here from G. Just going to log it. There we go. So no 10. All right, Ghost. No 10, 12, 13. We know you got that kill shot. What's it going to be for this Game 6? Looking to knock it out right here. Looking for match point. Last home game for Ghost.
Yeah,
We're going to full
I
send it.
figured.
Yeah, you got to do your thing. Got to do your thing on that for sure, G.
All right, so
Big Game 6. Ghost looking to finish it. Brad looking to get this to a Game 7 and get it back to his homestand. Ironically, G, if Brad does win that game, right, if he does win this game, 15, 14, and 13's off. So the highest we would see would be a 12. That is something to note. So you wonder if Ghost did that for a reason.
I mean, yeah, this has been a very high card start based game, but um, I honestly don't know where we'd go from there because we've just seen double digit card starts in every single game thus far, and game 7 would be definitely a way to, if we go there, game 7 would definitely be one that could stay that way, but also could take a big risk and go lower. But I personally don't see it how it is, but we need to focus on game 6 here at this point, and we start with a ditto right away also. So
Yeah, we've seen a lot of unusual starts, plus twos, dittos, Brad. I think if you're Brad, this is exactly what you want, G. This is what you want. You want some ditto starts. You want to play this more in your wheelhouse. You don't want this explosive stuff early. That's the methodical. If you want to win a game as a methodical player, you don't want explosive stuff early. The light switching and all that, that's normal. That's fine. Just when we get to those ammo cards. Brad now, let's see if he can cope with the blue. He'll go zero sugar into Ed. What's it going to be from Ghost? He goes to a blue 6 now. Winner gets Tago. Bad Brad looking to keep his Super League dream alive. It's force of game 7. He's had a great season, G. Won Masquerade May. Had a great March Madness. Had a fantastic year so far, but he's trying to keep it like Ghost. He's been mid-pack, right? Hasn't done much. Won a couple sophomore classes. Got here. But now starting to break out with a little bit of momentum in group stage. Ghost now. We'll see if he can cope with the green. Brad decides to break it a little bit here. Single digits we go here. Brad plays on the next turn. He will. See if Ghost gets the singles. Back to yellow, G. A lot of light switching now. It's possible, Pandora's, that we can run the yellow a little bit. Yellow 2 now. Playing it cool. Yellow 0 sugar. Brad looking to tie this game back up. On the road, he'll get it back to the 0 sugar green. And triple 0 sugar G in the red. Can you believe that? Hardest switch in the game.
Certainly that blue 0 has just gained a lot of value.
It has. No more zeros other than the blue zeros left. Let's see what Brad will do here. In the red. He'll cope with it.
Ooh, big +4 there. They go down to 5.
I'm not sure what this is about. Wes, I have no idea, man. It's not the time. Yeah, that's interesting, G, though. +4 from Ghost. It's a little warning shot right there. Brad's got to think this one through. It's 5-11 now. He's down 6 possessions. Throws the +6, G, keeps it alive, and Brad's back in the lead. Just like that. So now Brad in the lead. Ghost, let's see if he tries to test Brad here on the Reds. He'll go back to blue. Okay. Let's see what will be from Brad. God, I think, gee, Brad could have sliced that +2 in a different form. You wonder if he sliced it into more of a possible split ammo play, or was he just trying to get the pace gap going? I don't know. Interesting. Brad taking his time. Brad really loading up here. Looking for a possible Game 7. No Game 7, G, yet, but Brad getting closer. In the yellow.
I mean, just running it down at this point, this is similar to what we saw Ghost do in Game 3.
I think Ghost, he's still not in a bad spot. Probably going to take his time, see where this yellow plays out. But he's going to throw the +4. He's just not risking it, G. You wonder if this is just a part of the game where you got to respect the player, right? Throw some heat checks and go from there.
Goes with 2 +4s thus far, and
Brad
he
in the
does take
green.
the leader with that, but quick switch to green.
Tie game for now. Brad with
reverse.
I'm looking for a double. Double it is.
Strangely split on that. I mean, Ghost usually ties that together, but decided to split that one up.
Take a little bit of that lesson, G, from earlier. Try to learn your lesson. Let's see what will be from Brad here. He's got to find something. He's been good so far, I would say, similar to almost Nam tonight with ammo. But Ghost has found the colors with JT. It's been if we're comparing it off of that, a lot more game flow. I would say a lot more game flow in this game than the first game tonight, for sure. It's now past 11 o'clock on the East Coast. If you see me a little bit winding down, you know why. Brad going to go into a triple play, G. Take it back.
That's honestly what I was thinking Brad was looking to do towards the end there, so I think that +4 might have been a good move from Ghost, but he has nothing on the yellow here.
Oh, man. Brad now looking good. Brad looking really good now, G, if he can run this yellow. He doesn't have anything, though. Ghost top.
Gets the yellow 7 off the draw.
Well, top deck. Does Brad have anything off the top deck? Okay. Counter top deck. Does Brad have anything off the 1?
No.
No, gonna play it cool. Playing a Frosty right here.
At 7 minutes.
Yeah, season on the line. Let's see if there are top decks coming Brad's way. Nope. Ghost neither. So they're both gonna play pretty straight. Brad up by 2 possessions still. Keeps that way. Okay, well there's the top deck. So 3 possessions now for Brad. Now he's got a little bit more of a gap, G, because it's 4 or 5 possessions now. 6 possessions, actually. Brad's looking for 7. Starting to snowball.
I'm surprised there was no play from the red there, because that's 2 colors that there was no play from. I'm wondering if that was just an early draw there.
Unless it's just I was going to say maybe just jump the gun. We'll see. +4 from go. Yeah, it could have been an early jump there, G. you wonder. It's one thing with Ghost when you play so quick. But it's still Brad in the lead because he built a little bit of a draw city. Looking to go up 2 possessions again. Is that 3 plus 4s from Ghost?
That has been his third of the game.
Wow, it's very rare to win a game with not getting a plus 4. Brad trying to do something very impossible, it seems. Ditto play? Nothing really to scarf at there. I mean, if Brad wins this game, we're going to go back to that as he goes for a double play of just trying to flush the ammo and try to get Ghost in a compromised spot. In the green, that could help Brad. Gee, you got to think. I don't know if Brad had any more blue left. Brad looking for a possible run here. We'll play it cool.
No, nothing for Ghost here. I think he's really looking for the ice, but this may have backfired completely.
Possible backfire, says Gerard. Let's see if Brad can find some rhythm more on the green. Heat check early. Plus 2 from Ghost, though. Yeah, heat check right there from Brad. Interesting. But he will have cards that operate on the yellow.
Yeah, I mean, no hesitation on that plus 2 there.
Well, here we go.
His, plus 6.
Was this a rainbow plus to finish it, G? No, just a triple play.
Down to 2.
Once again, playing the percentages, you got to think, G, now we're out of red plus 2s, right? Yellow plus 2s are fresh out. You really got to really think. Now, Ghost is basically saying it's hard to get back. He's going to try green. Brad, does he have a green?
Plus 4 show up.
No, that'd be something. No, in the blue.
Blue crossover. This puts Ghost in a tough spot here.
Yeah, I don't know if you're Ghost, you don't know what to do now. If you go back to green, it could be game. You stick with blue, it could be game. The only thing he could do would, I don't know. He's in a tough spot right here. He's got to guess right. This is a tricky position. Goes with a 1-3 shot realistically now. Brad's put the pressure on. This is a tough spot, G. I'm not sure if you're Ghost where you go with this one, to be honest. He's just going to draw, probably play the number game. Is that it for Brad? Brad for the win. Oh, another wild. Is that another wild fit? Brad,
every single game has ended with a wild of some sort.
Brad, you won this game with no plus 4s. That was one of your most. I remember the ALP game where you got no ammo at all. ALP burned all the plus 4s and you won the game. You won that series. How did you rally back to force the game 7? That was one of your most impressive wins. 6-card command change tonight, tied with Ghost. But how did you stay patient? I think this is a game where the methodical style worked. And your thoughts on playing the plus 2s? Because there were multiple points where you should have lost that game with the plus 4s, but you rallied back. Talk to me about how you've been able to burn Ghost's ammo and play a more cleaner style to get the win there. Ghost, you gotta tip your hat to Brad there, because you look at that game, you had all the plus 4s. He was really not anywhere close. You decided to throw. I just stayed in. I got the right switches. Ghost, you had all the plus 4s. Could you have managed the ammo better, maybe to the end, or do you think the ammo mistake, putting a little bit of a pressure on Brad, was a mistake? Could you have played more of a top deck city? Could you have maybe drawn off the start a little bit and played patient? What was the mistake there? Because I really didn't see anything crazy other than you just kept using the plus 4s to try to get ahead on the pace number.
I think the problem was the plus 4s were just used more defensive. There wasn't really an offensive way to get ahead on them. So, he never really lined up that run to the finish and couldn't really find anything going there. Brad was kind of able to run it as he pleased. So, good pickup there from Brad to force game 7 here. That's the second game 7 of the night. So, going to be a crucial one here, as this will determine whose season keeps on going into the quarterfinals and who is going home.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, this has been a great round 12. I know we only 2 games in, but definitely makes the format worth fighting for. Brad fighting for his life. Remember his first game in Super League, Ghost now entering his 5th game in the Super League. He's played 24 to start. Now he's going to play 30 already. Brad just playing 6. Shows you the gap differential, but Brad's figured it out. I think the KG here is the mistakes, right? Ghost has been making just minor mistakes. Brad, all night, he's really been just playing the percentages and playing methodical. It's working, but it's definitely a test just because of the fact that he's coming off that bye. We'll see what Ghost says here. Remember, we're going to check the log real quick, but I'm pretty sure Brad can only go 12 or lower. I don't think he can do much. That is something to note, and he's already tried 12. So the only number I don't think has been played is 11, but I could be wrong. Wait for Ghost's answer. We'll get to Game 7. G, your thoughts? What are the keys to this last game here? Because Ghost hasn't been able to line up. Do you think he starts thinking about trying some maybe draws early? Didn't have any ever to use the plus for. I didn't. So basically, G, no connectors. He just had, like you said, defensive plus 4s. And you wonder, the one thing with Ghost, you wonder maybe he thinks about drawing early off the start, and it really worked in that when it was that red shuffle. That early draw was really what won him the game. So you wonder if he goes back to those tactics. Gee, thoughts on this Game 7 ahead? Because it's definitely it's a juxtaposition of ammo control and who has the rhythm and the connectors to finish it off.
I mean, honestly, it's just really going to come down to what this card start is. Honestly, for me, in terms of how I answer that question, but um, yeah, I'm just kind of looking to see what happens to this one. This could be one that comes down to who does the right play at the right time, or this could come down to who can play the ammo the best. So we'll see what happens, but this will be an interesting one to see as we go to Game 7.
Game 7. For all the marbles, no ties here. Someone's got to win. Let's go to the log before we get to the start. G?
Okay, there's your log.
All right, Brad.
54 minutes. We're nearing an hour on game time here.
We'll still have that on the board. So, Brad, as usual, my friend, 15 through 13's gone. Everything's open. What's it going to be? We will not see a full sender to end it. I
Yeah, I
figured
figured
11.
this was staying in the double digits.
Yeah, I figured I had said there was no 11 used all night. Here we go. Brad with the PA will start us off. 11 cards looking for the win. And he's going to get a free chance here, G, to really put the gas down if he wants. We've seen this before.
I believe this is the first odd numbered game that's had a special card start. Most of them were in the evens, but not gonna try to jump the gun here and just goes with a simple number.
This Ghost. We talked about Ghost drawing early. Let's see. It worked in that game too. Does he try it again? Excuse me, game 4. Ghost has a lot of things to think about in this game, G. There's times where drawing early is worth for him, and then there's times where going too aggressive is not worth. So I think that's one thing to watch in this game. Who draws early could be something to watch. One up this time from the Zero Sugar. Early switch from Ghost. Okay. 9 apiece.
Just run it down.
See if Brad can fire anything.
Brad has done a good job to slow this pace down, not let things get too out of hand. But gonna have to see what he goes with here because it's one thing to control the pace, but it's another thing if you could keep the run going.
High pressure moment for these guys, obviously. Us, well, not G, but us East Coast folks, at least myself, starting to feel it now. So I appreciate G coming in. It's been a long day.
Yep.
Oh, G, here's the
+6 from Brad.
The percentages, G. This is the percentage gameplay. Brad is throwing the gauntlet down. He'll throw his triple play. He's got the huge lead now. Massive lead.
That's got to be like his 4th or 5th of the game thus far.
Gee, I'm not mistaken here.
Match.
Gee, he has 17 plus 2s tonight. That's a pretty big average. 3 per game, basically. He's averaging them pretty high on those plus 2s tonight. High octane from Brad. In the blue, this is what Ghost needs to do. Try ISO ball, but does Brad have a back end switch? He doesn't. Into Brad himself. Brad usually saves it too. Does he save one here? No, top deck though. Ghost can probably live with that. Unless he wants to switch it. No switch. comes Brad. Nothing again.
Ooh,
Nothing again. No
Ghost
G.
calls
It's
as well.
ISO. It's an ISO play. Okay.
That's honestly not good for Ghost though. He's got to try to figure out a way to cut this gap.
Nah, it's not going to cut it right now, G. I think we need a new color to see any type of rhythm, and Brad's just content. He's got the possession arrow and plenty of possessions. Ghost on the back foot, Brad on the forefront. Still, okay. There, Brad blue deuce. And
Blue
Brad's
5
going
top
to,
deck.
oh, top deck heaven, okay. Nothing there from Ghost. 6 possession lead from Brad.
I could see a switch coming here.
Possible switch, says G. It
Yeah, it
is.
is.
7 possessions now. Ghost. See what he does.
So looking like a three color game here.
Well, that's the thing. If you're Ghost, 3 color game's not the worst. You don't need to rush anything. That's when it's 3 color. There's no need to rush it. When it's 4 colors, then you start to think about it. Brad now taking his time. Yeah, you're right, G. 100% great call, by the way, on the slowing of the pace. You can see Brad is methodically slowing this pace down, not trying to rush any move. Take his time. There's no power play. When there's no power play, you can do this. With power play, it's a little different. You got to be wary of it. Brad taking his time. Reminder, as I said, 2 games tomorrow to close the round. Heat check early. Heat check from Brad
A
there, G.
wild yellow.
Interesting.
I think Ghost plays this, but in what sense?
Could end around. He could try an end around play. Yeah, I was gonna say
Ooh, he's
go
gonna counter
back
back
to.
with the blue out blue.
Interesting. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Brad had a 6-card chain on yellow. So let's see if he had blue. He didn't though. It's a KT classic on KT. Well, we've seen it all tonight, G. Oh no.
He can't play that there. Blue 6 and gonna block that right away.
Yep. Unless, yeah. Well, so Brad, a mistake, G, a rare one.
Yeah, not the mistake he wants to be making in this game 7.
Ghost probably just can't. Yeah, he's gonna try to play skip-de-doo here. Don't play a yellow.
Yeah, nothing. And past 5 minutes here, and that's every single game of this series going past 5 minutes at least. So
That's good stat, G.
on
Appreciate
average,
it.
longer games in general.
That'll be on the board. That'll be a board game over an hour for sure. If we still
Yeah, I mean
did it.
we're just hitting 6 minutes here, so that will make it plus hour series.
Well, if you're Ghost, you don't really got to rush anything. You got 1 card advantage, and it's the advantage when you make the mistake. You can really take your time now. Sometimes it can put you in a box, but Ghost has the advantage. Oh my goodness.
Hello. That's 3 of the 4 wilds gone.
Well, now Brad probably gonna. Let's see what he'll do here. Here comes Brad. He'll play the yellow 6. It's out there. Yellow 2. Just a crossover back into the yellow himself. Multiples of 3.
The big question is, does Ghost really have anything, or is this just trying to wait for the opportunity?
Did Brad strike gold on that 11 card start?
Might have.
This is it.
Definitely did.
That's
That's
it.
the game.
Brad moves on. G, that's 2 in a row. JT down 3-2. He found a way, and Brad tonight, 18 plus 2s, 21 combined plus 2s, and wild plus 4s. But 18 out of 6 out of 86% of your cards on action cards of plus 2 is 8 plus 2s. That's some damn good beyond control. Brad, all night you weren't getting the plus 4s, but you were able to play the plus 2 percentage. You survived tonight. Thoughts on that series, man? How you had to stay mentally enduring, and the great call to go to 11 where no one saw that. Well, we kind of saw it, but no one saw an odd number or I guess a lower odd number all night. 11 would have been the lowest, 10 was an even. Thoughts on just that call to get the win and flush Ghost out as we have an over hour series, both long series tonight, G. Shows you the best of the best have shown up. Brad, your thoughts on the emotions run through the women? I would ask a better question, but as you can tell, I'm kind of shocked. So, Ghost, what a Super League run, man. You know, you didn't get the results you wanted, but you got to be proud of yourself. You snuck in here. You finished pretty much in a tie for ninth, right? We'll see where that will go. Will depend on gameplay. But a couple mistakes that probably cost you. Maybe game 4, especially looking back, you had a damn good hand, but you couldn't finish it off. Thoughts on your performance here in Super League, and despite the loss, what you can take away from the experience. Brad, your thoughts as well. Moving on to Tago as well as your next match. You'll be on the road. Gee, I think the ultimate thing that came down to is I think Ghost playing that quick, methodical, fast draw style in the West. It was working, but then the small little cracks in the game, Brad was able to capitalize, as he usually does as a methodical style, and won the game. Thoughts overall in the series and what Brad needs to do against Tyler? That's a completely different style, because usually with the light switching, methodical styles really do well with the light switching. That's all Tago does. Thoughts on that and with that preview and what we saw on the table tonight?
I think that's going to be an interesting one to watch out for, especially with the way Tago likes to play. Again, Tago was the one.
Yeah.
Tago won Space September, kind of rolling with some momentum here. Although it has been a while he's played, so he is maybe cooling off a bit. For Brad, got the win here in a close one. So I mean, if the quarterfinals comes to a close game, Brad could be the one in the driver's seat, especially surviving this game here. But again, going to be a close one to watch out for. I really think for Brad, his pace management is going to be a key factor into his success throughout this campaign. But we'll see how it goes for Ghost. Unfortunate way to end. I think Ghost really lost on the wild usage because I mean on both wilds and plus fours, was able to outscore Brad on that, but just wasn't able to get the job done here tonight. Outscored 14-9 in terms of combined wilds and wild plus fours.
Yeah, Brad said it was crazy. Just did all the moves I had to his last two games. Yeah, I think it really, G, was the old battle of +2 controllers. I think Ghost just never had anything to line up with the finish on the +4s, and we talk about it in group stage, you can get away with that. Here, I think it's a little bit more worth doing it on the off season for Ghost for sure to try to get a more three-dimensional game. Brad, thoughts on I guess my last thing there. Your thoughts on playing a lot more wilds, just kind of sticking on the yellow. Were you just confident playing the percentages? Hey, eventually at a certain point, the yellows are going to be winding down. Ghost, your thoughts on the overall season, buddy? Any quote? Let me know. And just your thoughts on playing Brad. All right. Well, we're going to see as we wait for those comments to come in. Thanks for G for refing, of course. Let's go into the now new graphic here. No, not new graphic, but sure, will give us an update. Right. We're going to go into the schedule. So that's confirmed now. It's going to be another chalk game, G. We've seen 2 of them so far. As Brad says, I had the 2 wilds there. I would have played it if I only had 1 for sure. Two chalk games, G, but 2 comebacks from 3-2. We, of course, saw JT to rally tonight, and then we saw Brad down 3-2, and he rallied to a 4-3 as he advanced to the quarterfinals. It'll be Christian, Tago, Brad, the usual move, the usual chalk. Tago will be at home. Tomorrow, yes, there could be an upset on 8-9, but it's more of a seed upset. It's a toss-up game. The next big game, for sure, we see one will be Sanford Tapir. Looking forward to seeing that as the nightcap tomorrow at 9:30 tomorrow. Ghost will say final thoughts here before we close the program. I'm sure he's just kind of reflecting. But, G, the one thing I'm going to say for Brad, I think he can agree to this tonight. He learned about percentage playing. I think the card history opened up him a little bit, but I think it's just the one thing we talk about, G. Playing that more methodical style for Ghost. Maybe he doesn't have to be slow it down to this pace of Brad, but maybe just a little slower, similar to what he was doing in that game 6, or game 6, late game 6, game 7, trying those one plays, especially with no power play, is something he needs to look into for next year. Considering at least as far as I know, we'll have group stage where there is no power play at all. So I think you wonder if he will try more of a methodical style. But we'll just wait for Ghost to say anything, and we'll call it a night. Gee, you haven't really commented much on Super League games because we've been doing a bulk of the work. But your thoughts so far in the Super League? Your thoughts in round 12, man? 2 banger series so far. Max distance, 14. Both great games.
I mean, yeah, we've had some good results for the round 12 so far. We're going to wrap things up tomorrow night, but we'll see how those 2 games go. But I mean, if we have to base off the 2 games tonight, both went 7, really close back and forth. going to be exciting ones to watch out for, and we'll see how it all plays out. I know we were predicting pretty close games in wild cards, so so far so true. But we'll see how it all plays out come tomorrow with both Sanford and Tapir, and then also what's it called?
Chama
Blanking on
Toasty.
it right now. Chomik Toasty, yeah. So it'll be an interesting one to watch out for. I mean, Chomik Toasty. Okay, wait, no, that's not
Eight. That's an
that's
8-9.
not it. Never
Eight
mind.
nine.
That
Yep.
was a that was a no, no. I remember initially it was almost an AM game, but it
No,
moved
no.
to PM, thankfully. But
Yeah,
um, yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow, and hopefully we have another good slate of games then.
yeah, we wish you have a good one. Obviously, wild card podcast. I think we both had Brad winning 4-3, and I think we both had JT squeaking by. So interestingly enough, there we're kind of spot on right there on the predictions for sure. Two more tomorrow. Obviously, we're different on Chama Toasty, and then the last game to Pierce Sanford will be a classic one. I think Ghost probably just giving us a start. We'll get him at the post game. Ghost, you just get a post game call, man, real quick before we get going. I'm sure you're just kind of gathering your thoughts. Well, Brad gets it done, G. Obviously, he's our newly minted commission member. Well, soon to be commission. He's got the purple tag, an advisor role. Looking forward to seeing that. I guess we can kind of do a little breaking news here. We'll have G. He'll be doing a little bit of an interview. We haven't confirmed it yet. Somewhere Tuesday. G, you want to talk about that preview, man? That interview. A lot of good stuff. Going to get to know about you a little bit with me and Art, and some fun things. Want to preview that a little before we sign off too? Get you a little plug promo there.
My preview is going to be it's exciting and major news, and all I'll say is tune in to find out. That's all I'm going to give.
Nah, that's
Let's
good,
keep it
G.
a little ambiguous.
That's it. You know, G, we'll foreshadow, and why not? I'm just waiting for Ghost here to give his thoughts after a great season. You know, for Ghost, we talked about him. No matter what happened, this certainly we know he's moving up a class for sure. We don't have the answer to that yet, but we know he'll move up from the sophomore. He deserves it. We'll see where he ends up come off-season talks 24. For Brad, we already know he's already a legend regardless due to the T3 win. We win a tournament, you're automatically moving up, so that's no brainer there for Brad. But what a fight from Brad. We talked about adversity, right? Both guys that were the better seeds needed to find a little adversity in there. Brad especially a little harder considering he's never played yet in Super League, coming off that bye, and he's got that rust off now. So that means Tago will not have to figure the rust out. Tough way to end my Super, but that's just the way the cards go. Overall, I think Brad outplayed me throughout the games, utilizing his +2. Oh, oh, pfft. All right, you good, man. Yeah, that copy pasted, right? You're good, my friend. Don't worry about it. All right, very good. Yeah, finish that thought. You're good. Yeah, I want to do thank G. I guess while we got a little bit of time, I want to thank everybody for participating in this league. I know we have 2 more rounds left. We don't know the schedule past next round. Obviously, next round we're going to get before after that. There's no timetable due to Thanksgiving holiday. We have no timetable. We're going to try to get the final 4 in that week, but it's going to be pretty rough regardless due to the holiday. Hopefully, we can finish up the league before December 1st is the plan, but there's no promises on that, of course. It depends who makes it. We'll also have some off-season news, of course, as G discussed a little bit. Some big news coming on the 19th. We got some big news coming as well off-season. Got huge news coming for 2025 stuff, of course, with D2. We'll get that going soon. There's a lot of good stuff coming to the league. It's been a very interactive experience so far, and we want to continue that here at the camp. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Couldn't be here tonight, Yoshi. Want to appreciate him and Caesar. I know he has some roped in. He'll be back tomorrow for 9:30. Will not be here for 7 o'clock because we have. I believe it's going to be. Actually, no, he might be here for 7 o'clock. Yeah, he will be here for 7 o'clock because it'll be Ed. It'll be Ed joining in. Ed, me, and Caesar, I believe, unless Art's around. But we'll see how that goes. And then tomorrow will be Caesar for sure coming back with Yoshi. For going, gee, I don't know if this was real. I shouldn't say it because I'm still exist. Gee, maybe stream one of my games. We'll see how that goes. But as far as potentially, but as far as we'll see. We'll have to play that by ear. But we'll if this was your last game, at least for Super League with me, you and me, it's been an honor, man. We haven't done a lot of broadcasts lately. It's been It's been more low key on that, more podcasting for sure. But it's good to get you, good to
It's kind
connect.
of been. I've just kind of been laying back a bit in terms of the games. So
No, I appreciate you coming. I
really
just
all
needed,
this.
I needed a wingman tonight. I was cooked all day, but I'm glad I had a little bit. As soon as Ghost is done, I'm gonna update the sheets and I'm going to bed. I'm finished. Get a post that. Brad, if you want to type your quote, if you could do me a favor, my friend, if you could type out a quote, that'd be good. I'm gonna get your post up tonight. Then I'm gonna go to bed after that. But insane series as Brad gets it done. Big win. Waiting for Ghost to give his final thoughts on the stream so you guys see that, and then we'll call it a night. Still a little garbage time here, as I said. Pretty much gave every shot. We're just waiting for Ghost. Usually I'm good at filling dead energy, but forgive me, it's 11. It's 11:30. I'm on low sleep.
Yeah, I think all of us are ready to hit the hay and just get ready for tomorrow's action. So
Yeah, it could be a long day, but that's how it is. Super League. Usually we don't. Now I do want to add. I know one guy asked me this. I'm not gonna. They said, why you kind of well. We normally don't do Super League this kind of these elimination games. We do 2 games back to back, but due to the circumstances, we just have to get it going. We got to fly, so that's the reason why we're hurrying it up. And of course, the reveal shows and whatnot. But Brad's gonna give us a quote here. Just waiting on Ghost. See if he reflects his thoughts on the season. Yeah, it's tough to lose. See, we always talk about when you get to Super Bowl. You were there last year. I was there. You start the dream in February, and this year makes it even more excruciating because you started in February, and well, it ends in late November. I mean, you made it this far, but we talk about off season. These guys will have a little less off season, but you gotta think it still sucks to lose. But you think the way this league being so young and so fresh, it doesn't sting as much considering we will never probably be playing this far ever again. So that's the one thing you can hold your head high knowing that we'll have more of a complicated or less complicated, more complex, or less complicated, less complex, more compact regular season, but also more of a spread out postseason to make the best viewing experience. So that's one thing everything can hold their head high about, which is nice. As I continue to rabble on here. Oh boy. Can't really expect. There we go. Tough way to end my Super League run. That's just the way cards go. Everything. Okay, you play it from. Yep. And my precious plus versus Stale ultimately winning him the last. I think there's a lot to reflect on here. Think about how to play slow methodically where ammo's lacking, as well as playing my hand sprung in those ammo heavy dogfights. This has been a great experience all the way through, and I'm glad I made my mark. Yeah, Ghost. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, man. I talked about this. G knows about this a little bit. I did say. I looked at your game last year when you first entered the league. There's a lot of things I did and obviously the new bot's different, but the old bot, there's a lot of things that we both had with the sneak attack, and there's a lot of things I did with your game to improve my game on quicker pace, for sure. But now I think on this new bot, I can speak for everybody. It's still a learning experience. It's a new bot. It's the first. We haven't even seen a new bot game with the real rules, right? As in 4 command chains, a power play, right? A series winner, not just group stage best of 6 unexpected behavior. We're still not going to see it till next round, so it will always be a learning process. Never stop learning, for sure. Brad's going to give his quote. That'll be all fair. So for myself and G, on behalf of everybody on the team tonight, thank you guys for watching. Congratulations to one last time to Bad Brad over Ghost in the West Coast Left Coast Showdown. Truly a Pac-12 After Dark special. It was Brad, but now a Big Ten After Dark. Washington's Huskies gets it done. And we'll see Bad Brad versus Tago for a Washington, New York come next week. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow with coverage beginning at 6:45.